Hello, this is Philip Jewell for Blue Hat TV. I recently visited Dallas, Texas, and spoke with Program Director Greg Brown from the Dallas Center for Architecture and talked about some of their programs, including the walking tour of the Dallas Arts District.
We advance architecture through education and collaboration, so working with other organizations here in the city as well as the programs that we produce ourselves. We have a film series once a month. We do a series of exhibitions, both large and small, and then one of our big focal programs is the walking tours. We do walking tours of the Dallas Arts District, and we'll begin one of the Main Street District in September. We do the Dallas Arts District walking tour in collaboration with the Dallas Arts District. We do it on the first and third Saturdays of the month at 10 o'clock. It's about a 90-minute tour. And we start at the Dallas Museum of Art and really look at the 30 years of history, the 30 years of planning that it took to become the Dallas Arts District, as well as other buildings in the area. So not just the cultural buildings, but also the commercial buildings, the historic buildings as well. We're proud of several things, but proud especially that we're the largest urban arts district in the country, about 62 acres, as well as the fact that we have 4 Pritzker Prize winning architects who have designed buildings in the district. So again, the Dallas Museum of Art was the beginning, designed by Edward Larrabee Barnes. The Nasher Sculpture Center was a wonderful surprise to the Arts District. It was not a part of the original plan as it was talked about in the 1970s, but Ray and Patsy Nasher had amassed this wonderful collection of contemporary and modern sculpture, and Mr. Nasher decided that it needed to stay here in his hometown. So working with Renzo Piano and the landscape architect Peter Walker, we have this wonderful building which is 5 pavilions, 3 of them open on both ends, so they tend to disappear into nature. Then as you travel through these pavilions out to the grounds themselves where the rows of live oak trees continue the walls of the pavilions and really create this great series of outdoor rooms as well for all of the sculptures. Ross Avenue, which today is just a northern part of downtown, was really sort of the frontier. It was far north when you look at downtown Dallas. But it was the place that the bankers and the merchants and the dry goods folks all settled. A.H. Below, it's one of the mansions that still remains. The Below Mansion was completed in 1890 based on a family home they had in Salem, North Carolina. So it and these other mansions would have lined the street, and really it was the Fifth Avenue. It was the silk stocking district sort of Dallas at that point in time. I mentioned earlier that we talk about not just the cultural buildings, but also the commercial buildings that are around the Arts District. And 2 that are especially interesting here in the Arts District are Trammell Crow Center, which houses the Crow Collection of Asian Art at its base, but a really nice postmodern tower, sort of a bell tower almost looking, a campanile we call it, with the articulated windows and the colored glass and the granite between and a wonderful pyramid top. And then just to the east and slightly south of that is Chase Tower, this wonderful postmodern tower, also by Richard Keating of SOM, that has a wonderful sky window, and again that sort of repetition of granite and brown glass. Another important building to the history of the district is the cathedral. It was originally completed in 1902 as the Sacred Heart Cathedral. It's now the Cathedral Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe, the second busiest parish in the United States outside of New York's St. Patrick's. It's a high Victorian Gothic building designed by Nicholas Clayton, who was from Galveston and did things like the Bishop's Palace in Galveston. It's high Victorian Gothic, so it has the typical Gothic features of the spires and the pointed archways, but also the high Victorian aspect of this contrast between the cast stone and the darker bricks. The Meyerson Symphony Center, designed by Pritzker Prize winner I.M. Pei, is really a great study in geometry. Outside, very cold and austere with Indiana limestone and glass, and you begin to see a sphere take place in the windows as well as a cone. When you go inside, a lot more curves happening in the lobby, so the building really feels like it moves around you. And then into the performance hall itself, which is much warmer with onyx lights and dark wood paneling. Really patterned after some of the great European concert halls, and people have been thrilled to have it here in Dallas as such an acoustical masterpiece. The AT&T Performing Arts Center was completed last October. two buildings that are really the pinnacle of that. One is the Wiley Theater, designed by Rem Koolhaas and Joshua Prince Ramos. It's been called a theater machine, and what they've done with a smaller site is take what would traditionally be a very horizontal type atmosphere and operation and stacked it on top of each other. So the audience actually goes down a ramp into the basement underground, into the lobby, and then up a flight of stairs or the elevator into the performance space itself, which is completely flexible. The balconies fly out. It can be flat floor, it can be proscenium, it can be thrust stage, and on three sides it's completely glass. Really interesting building with very sort of industrial finishes, the great tubes on the outside that make it look like it's clad in a metal stage curtain. It's a very striking building that people notice on the tour and really want to learn more about. Across the street from it, across Flora Street, which is really the spine of the Arts District, is the Winspear Opera House, designed by Norman Foster and Spencer DeGray of Foster and Partners. Now, of course, one of the worst things to do with a building in Dallas is to clad it on three sides in glass when it's going to be 100 degrees today here in June. So what they've done is create this 2-acre canopy that sits on top. And the fixed louvers are set at different widths and at different depths. They studied the sunlight for a year to figure out where they needed the most shading for the building versus less. And then those louvers really become a design element that you can see throughout, whether it be on the ceiling of the lobby, on the light fixtures that are in the ground, and even the flower bed. So that rectangular pattern plays over and over again. And then, of course, the other signature elements, in addition to the canopy and that transparability, is the wonderful red glass of the inside, the sort of lipstick tube that comes out over the canopy. And you can see it at night, especially glowing from within and also lit above the canopy. So really a nice sort of signature color for the Arts District to look at.
If you would like more information about the Dallas walking tours, visit dallascfa.com. On our next show, we will be visiting the Idle George Museum Indian Market in Indianapolis, Indiana. You may view additional Blue Hat TV videos at bluehat.tv or visit our regular website at bluehat.biz and click on the video blog link. Thanks for watching Blue Hat TV.